The legend Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez does it again. Let's talk about it. In an excellent fight, it was Roman Gonzalez over Julio Cesar Martinez by unanimous decision. Let's start with the pros and the cons. Let me start with Martinez. The pros would be, I think that he was trying to find something with those wide punches that he was throwing. I wasn't a fan of them, but I'm going to give him a pro with that because I think that he realized once he saw that Gonzalez was going to keep his mitts up, that the best way to get him was to maybe throw wide punches. I also want to give him credit for his chin. I actually picked him to get knocked out in the mid rounds. I was thinking between 7 and 10. I thought that he would be out of there, but the kid hung in there and he showed that, he's got some granite in that chin. The cons, though, for Martinez would be his game plan seemed to be, I want to show this guy how tough I am, and I thought he played to the crowd a little bit too much. And what I mean by that is that he was dropping his hands a lot and getting hit by a guy who is a ferocious puncher. I am not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of getting in there and trying to show the machismo or the toughness, or this is where I'm from, whether it's United States, Mexico, Argentina. We're tough here, and I'm gonna show what I'm made of. I didn't like that. When you're in the ring with a guy like that, I thought that he was setting himself up for damage by dropping his hands and just taking those shots. I didn't like the fact that he really never changed up his game plan. His game plan seemed to be just to throw wide shots and hope that he caught Martinez with something. Maybe he was thinking that Martinez was shot and that maybe one good hit in there would put him down and put him on the defensive, but it didn't. And I also don't like the fact that his corner, I'm going to give a count to his corner didn't stop this fight. I thought that after the ninth round, I didn't see any reason at all for the young man to go out there and fight those last 3 rounds. It was very apparent that he wasn't going to quit. Sometimes the corner needs to save a kid from himself, and this was one of those times. Let's get on to the legend, Chocolatito Gonzalez. Let's start with the pros. Pretty much everything. I love how calm he was in there. I love the fact that he wasn't flustered, not even a little bit. When that young man was throwing those wide, hard shots, he didn't buckle, he didn't back up. He just either slipped the punches, rolled with the punches, or he caught them on his gloves. I like the fact that he was doing good body work. When Martinez was trying to put his arms up and block up top, Gonzalez was going downstairs. And then he was also throwing a lot of feints in there. I love the feints. I love that quick right uppercut that Gonzalez was throwing. I love that quick check left hook. I love the fact that he walked him down after the first round. I believe that he realized that Martinez couldn't hurt him. So he just walked him down the whole fight. He put his mitts up. He put them up, around his temple and his ears. And pretty much he just schooled the young man. I mean, he had good upper body movement, and even though he didn't even use great boxing skills by moving around the ring on his back foot, he actually fought on the front foot the whole fight and still really didn't get hit that much. When you watch some of those shots in slow motion, you realize that Gonzalez was either blocking those shots with his gloves, or some of the shots that Martinez was throwing, like his wrists was hitting Gonzalez's side. Like he wasn't even landing the body shots clean. I think that's the reason why he was shaking his hand so much, because he wasn't really landing clean shots. A lot of those shots that were actually hitting Gonzalez was really the wrist of Martinez. Anyhow, let's talk about the fight a little bit. Martinez hung in there very well. He took a beating, but it was basically all Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. He was working upstairs, working downstairs, wearing Martinez down, and that's the reason why I thought that he would stop him in the later rounds. See, I didn't really think that the weight that Martinez put on, or what I mean is by not making weight, was really going to help him. I thought that it was going to wear him down later in the fight, especially if Gonzalez went to the body, which he did. But hey, give Martinez credit. He hung in there. And, I think that for him going the distance with a legend like this may have been a win. But I thought the 118-110 scorecard was about right. I think that Gonzalez won just about every round. Maybe Martinez got about 2 rounds in there. But basically, it was just a masterful performance in there by Gonzalez. And what do you all think about it? Do you agree? Do you think that Gonzalez schooled a young man, or do you think he showed his age? I don't think he did. I think that he's definitely not as good as he was, but tonight he was as good as he's been in a long time, in my opinion. I just thought it was masterful stuff, and I'm saying that because of all the slipping and rolling punches. I don't really think he got hit clean a lot in the fight. And Martinez didn't really do enough body work either. I should throw that in as a con. It was like the ninth round, I think, when I finally saw Martinez throw a couple of decent body shots. I mean, he was trying. Don't get me wrong. Martinez was trying, but I just believe that the pressure that Gonzalez was putting on him, moving in close, and the slipping, it just made his shots really just he just really landed shots with his wrist. But anyway, you all saw the fight and you pretty much saw how it went. So where do we go from here? They were saying that Martinez will drop back down to flyweight and he'll get a chance to fight someone else, maybe an eliminator. But what do we want to see with Roman Gonzalez from here? He mentioned that he's willing to fight pretty much anybody, which we believe, but it sounds like he may be thinking of staying at super flyweight, maybe waiting on Estrada or maybe Rung Vasai again. I know that some of the commentators even talked about him moving up to 118 and fighting Inoue. If you've been following me for a while, you already know how I feel about Inoue. I think that Gonzalez needs to stay away from Inoue, especially if he wants to fight another couple years or maybe another 3 or 4 fights, as if he said himself. Maybe stay at 115 and let's see what he can do against Rung Fasai or Estrada. Get that trilogy going and let's see what happens from here. But what did you think about it, fight fans? Did you enjoy the fight? And what did you think about Roman Gonzalez? Are you as impressed with him as I am? I mean, I do believe that this is the best he's looked in a long time, but how do you feel? Do you think that it was just because of the guy he had in front of him that he schooled him like that, or do you think that there's still something left in his tank? And who do you want to see him fight? Do you want to see the trilogy with Estrada? Do you maybe want to see him go against Rung Vasai again? Or someone else that's at super flyweight? Or do you maybe want to see him step up to bantamweight and see what he can do with somebody like Inoue up there? Other than that, if you haven't already, like and subscribe and leave me a comment and tell me what you think, what you thought about the fight, and what you'd like to see happen from here. Other than that, fight fans, that's all I got. Holla at y'all later.